We are now on the Rideau Canal and we are ready for a snowy skate. The canal's been cleaned of ice, and so we will keep our fingers crossed that we can miss all of the cracks while I get this cool snowy footage. Normally I don't like to skate in the snow, but today I couldn't resist. This seemed like so much fun. The time is about 4 o'clock, 1600 hours, and so it's moving towards dusk, so I think I can do one video successfully of the rink. I was just busy today working on video uploads, writing a neat article on high-speed UFO propulsion that I thought up this morning and last night in my sleep. And that was really kind of interesting because I saw a documentary yesterday on the observations of Air Force pilots around the world with regards to the behavior of UFOs that they had seen during their career and the effects of the UFO on their aircraft when they got too close. So when I was 24 years old, back in June of 1986, I was fortunate enough to see my own UFO incident. And this took place, I was 24 years old. I was still living at home, and my location for viewing the UFO was at the top of the hill in Queenswood Heights. And I had a really good view of the Ottawa River and Gatineau, Quebec in the background. And I would later determine in 2010 that my viewing angle for the incident, or the area I had in view, was 4 miles. And on the evening of a Thursday or Friday in June 1986, I witnessed a very high-speed object moving above the Ottawa River from east to west towards the city of Ottawa. The UFO that I witnessed was in my frame of view for 2 seconds, and I was able to determine that by extending my arm and slowly pulling it in an arc from right to left. And the time to do that was 2 seconds. And so the UFO traveled my area of the Ottawa River, which was 4 miles, in 2 seconds time. And when you do the math, that works out to 9 times the speed of sound. Extremely fast. And those speeds are not unusual for a UFO. They can have extremely high acceleration rates, velocity rates. Now, what was unusual is that the UFO was traveling at 9 times the speed of sound, and it wasn't breaking the sound barrier. There was no sonic boom. That's great. I love seeing kids on the canal. So, and I remember at the time, back in '86, that I was listening for that sonic boom. I mean, this object was traveling so quickly above the Ottawa River that there was no way that it could not make a sonic boom. I mean, it was easily exceeding the speed of sound for flight, and it didn't. Not only did it not make a sonic boom, it didn't make any noise at all. It was absolutely, completely, totally silent. So, but now, to be fair, the object is 1.6 to 2 miles away from me, flying over the Ottawa River. And I've determined this distance using Google Earth and Google Maps. So I've been able to map exactly where I was relative to where I determined the UFO was, where it was flying. And that's how I also determined that's beautiful. Beaver Tail's the best place for that's really neat looking inside today. Very special. Okay. Here we go. So you have a UFO viewing at oh, where was I? Oh, okay. So you have a UFO traveling at 9 times the speed of sound over the Ottawa River towards the city of Ottawa. And I'm not the only person who sees this object. There are 4 students at the University of Carleton that I've determined to be 20 miles from where I was in Orleans. They witnessed the UFO flying by and contacted the Ottawa Citizen, reported it, and the story was written up the next day. So this is a publicly acknowledged event that a UFO event did happen in the Ottawa area on that date in June of 1986. The exact date, I don't know. I've tried to locate the news story in Citizen Archives, and I've been unable to. But someone who's familiar with it, with the incident, would know the date exactly. Nevertheless, you have an object moving at 9 times the speed of sound that doesn't break the sound barrier. What's up with that? And other people who have been witnessing UFOs report very high acceleration rates, very high speeds and not breaking the speed of sound. The UFOs are always completely and totally silent in operation. So, oh, and the new evidence that was revealed yesterday, and I think I'd been aware of this through other reports as well, that if fighter aircraft got too close to the UFO, their instruments malfunctioned and their avionics, they lost control. So this morning I was thinking about the UFO phenomenon, and over the past year I've come to the conclusion that if a UFO is traveling above the speed of sound and it's not breaking the sound barrier, then it's not displacing the medium that it's traveling through. And if a UFO is not displacing the medium it's traveling through, then it's not experiencing friction either with that medium. If a UFO doesn't have friction with its environment, then it can travel at extreme speeds. So now we get to the next question. How do UFOs... Oh, okay. And then there's the other observations of UFO behavior, that they can do extreme maneuvers at very high speed. So they could be going along at the speed of sound or 9 times the speed of sound, and suddenly they make a 90-degree turn. Under basic flight rules, you can't do that. And so that was just another clue for the hypothesis that I would come up with later on. Okay, where are we? Oh yeah. UFOs that can do extreme maneuvers in the air. They can cross in front of an aircraft going left to right, right to left, can suddenly appear in front of an aircraft and then behind it almost instantly. And the pilots can't figure out how the UFO is doing these maneuvers. A UFO can travel above the speed of sound. I've observed one at 9 times the speed of sound without breaking the sound barrier. The other evidence is UFOs can travel quickly underwater, they can jump around, they have rapid acceleration rates. Okay, so you look at all the evidence, you know what the rules of physics are, you know how current aircraft work, so what is going on? And what's going on is that the UFO is accelerating time in a bubble around itself. You look at everything that aircraft can and cannot do, and then you realize what is and is not possible. So how do they do the things that they do? You look at what's impossible. And that is accelerating time around them in a bubble. And here comes our canal cleaner. That is great. God, first time on video. This is how they keep the canal clean for us to skate on.